Hey, what's up, everybody? Ralph here. So today's topic, I read this article on CNBC about how more Americans took on holiday debt this season, owing an average of $1,249. People was like, yo, this virus is not going to stop me from getting into debt, right? So I wanted to talk about and share my thoughts about this because obviously during the holiday season, this is the time where, everybody wants to, get the gifts. If you got kids, you got, friends and family, you want to be that person that, provides, gets gifts for them, and you want to have that good feeling of being able to give and also receive. But the thing is with that is you have to be careful because obviously when it comes to spending, these are the times, you tend to overspend and you tend to spend on credit cards and spend money that you don't have. And for a lot of people, this is emotional spending, which can be a really bad time to spend money because when it comes to spending money, you don't want to involve your emotions into it. But, during the holidays, this is where everybody's like, oh, we got to get gifts and, I want to be giving and also receiving. And this tends to get people in trouble. Okay. So I'm gonna just go over this article, just, read over it real quick. It's a pretty short article. So we're going to go through it pretty quickly. All right. So to get started, it says, okay, so more Americans got into the spirit this holiday, even if it meant spending more than they could afford. Between buying presents, plane tickets, and party supplies, 36% of consumers went into debt on an average of $1,249, according to a survey by LendingTree. Most holiday borrowers with debt put it on their credit cards, which people tend to do. People tend to spend money that they don't have, but they want to get the gift. So obviously the easiest way to do it is credit card. That's nothing new. Although for the first time, nearly 40% of Americans used so-called buy now, pay later financing to spread out their expenses, the report found, which polled more than 2,000 adults from December 14th to December 20. So for those that don't know what the buy now, pay later is, it's a form of, it's almost like a credit system, right? Like a lot of these companies allow you to purchase a product and have to pay, you can buy it now and then pay for it later. So basically, let's say you wanted to buy a product for like $200. Now, you would say you went to go purchase the product, you would pay $50 now and you would take the item home. And then every 2 weeks you would, pay like say $50 to make sure you finish off the payment. Now, a lot of times it's interest free, so you're not paying interest on the items. But the thing is, if you miss a payment or if you don't pay off the item by a certain period, they're going to be late fees and there's going to be high interest charges. So obviously the people that are using this method tend to not be good financially, right? Obviously, they don't have the money, which is why they're using the buy now, pay later method. And these companies know that. So a lot of people think these companies are trying, they're putting in these systems and these things to benefit the customer. But, obviously that's not, it's a way for them to make a buck, right? Because they know people are bad with managing money. So they say, we're going to let you you're going to purchase the product now, and then you can, pay it over time and, spread out your money. But they know most people aren't going to make payments during that time period. They're not going to pay it off during that time period. So they know they're going to make money off the high interest fees and the late charges, right? So a lot of people are using this method, which is going to get a lot of people in trouble. All right, so the buy now, pay later has exploded in popularity with the rise in online shopping during the pandemic. However, studies show installment buying could encourage consumers to spend more than they can afford. Just like credit cards, money that's not yours, you're gonna be like, you know what, hey, this is not my money, so let me just, use this and then pay for it later. But what happens? Things come up, you miss a payment, you don't have the money, and then you're paying high interest fees, late charges, and you're just gonna accumulate a bunch of debt, which is the goal of a lot of these companies. All right, their goal is to put you in debt, not to help you with your shopping. Because the thing is, when it comes to the credit, if you don't have the money, if you don't have the cash to pay now, then you shouldn't be using credit cards. All right, people that understand how to use money use credit cards because they have the money available, but they use other people's money to get the things that they want because that is a benefit to them. But for a lot of people that don't know how to manage money, they shouldn't be using credit, and they shouldn't be using a method like the buy now, pay later, because it's just going to get them in trouble, and it's going to encourage you to spend more than you have, and then eventually you're going to miss payments, and it's going to put you into debt, and then mess with your credit score. And the thing about these buy now, pay later, it doesn't even benefit your credit score. Because it's not a hard pull. So when they qualify you for the buy now, pay later, it's a soft pull. So it's not a hard pull. It's not considered a hard inquiry, which can affect your credit score. So it doesn't even, and as you make payments, it's not even recorded on your credit report. So it's not even a benefit to you. But if you miss a payment and you get, and you don't pay it off, they can send you a collection and they can hurt your credit. So there's really no benefit to doing this because it's not going to improve your credit score as if like a mortgage would, or making payments on a mortgage or auto loan or a credit card. All right, this buy now pay later, there's no benefit to it. All right. So, but if you miss a payment, then it's gonna affect your score, and hurt it in the long run. Okay, so although these programs let shoppers break their purchases into equal payments, often interest-free, there could be late fees, deferred interest, or other penalties if you miss a payment. Credit cards, on the other hand, are the most expensive ways to borrow, with interest rates of more than 16% on average. If you have bad credit, you'll pay even more. Roughly 1/4 of a borrower have an APR between 20% and 29%. LendingTree found while 9% of the APR had higher than 30%. By the end of the holiday season, Americans are on track to have $70 billion more in credit card debt, and balances are expected to rise even higher in 2022. As consumers continue to increase their spending, according to separate forecasts by TransUnion, usually card balances decline in the beginning of the year as borrowers pay off their holiday purchases. This time, paying down debt will be a challenge, most said. In fact, 82% of those holiday debt won't pay it off within a month, LendingTree found, despite sky high interest charges. So obviously with tax season coming up, obviously a lot of people are going to use that to pay off their debt. But, I think I've read reports that, a lot of people, they're going to be in for, a little surprised that their tax refund is not going to be as high as they think it is. That's just something I read. I got to look more into that. But, obviously, people are banking on this, and when they get the surprise and these emergencies come up, they're not prepared financially because they're spending money that they don't have. And like I said, I get it. I understand it's the holidays. You want to buy, presents for the kids and the friends and the family, but you have to think of you got to think of in terms of, responsibility. Eventually you're going to pay this thing on. If you don't have the money, it's going to put you in further debt. It's going to affect your, your finances in the future. And it's just going to just make life hard for you in the future. And it's just going to cause a lot of stress. So I think when you're buying these gifts, when you're doing holiday shopping, you really have to think critically and really understand, all right, do you have the money? Do you have the finances to pay this? Okay. So it's just sad to see that, so many people are still going into debt, knowing, how struggling they are, living paycheck to paycheck, yet they still find themselves, going into debt. And that's because, people understand that. It's just, they have poor spending habits. And, methods like the buy now, pay later and credit cards, they understand this. So their goal is to make money. They don't really care about your situation. They just want to make money. So, so you just got to be smarter with your money. Okay. So, just be more cognizant of what you're spending and how you go about spending and making sure you're managing your money. And also, like I said, make sure you're paying off debt, because that's going to be crucial, especially with inflation, all this that's going on. Things are more expensive. You want to make sure that you're fiscally sound, and that, if there's an emergency come up, you can have money to pay that off. Right? So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you got any questions, comments, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. All right? So you guys take care and have a good one. Later.